Hello everyone. Uh, Someone asked for a picture of my blue interior, but I'm just gonna give a video and a brief tour of my 2002 Dodge Caravan. Now, as you can tell, it's like a dark blue. The doors are the same way. Don't mind the mess, because both my wife and I will use this as a work vehicle. It's getting cleaned out after all the snow disappears, but now a little bit more background into this. The 2002s had the information center up top here. Well, we owned a 2007 Dodge Caravan previously, and my wife got into a wreck. She ended up hitting a flat surface curb, twisting the rear of the frame, bending both rims. So we scrapped it, but I ripped everything out that was savable, and I wanted to move over to this vehicle. Now, and I removed this information center because if anyone else owns the 2002 and under, I forgot when they started doing the information center, but I took that out, and I took the 2007 cluster and put it into the 2002. Now it works right up. You just need to cut the old harness out of your donor. See here. See if we can get some light in there. There's the harness. Now you got to pin 2 wires in there for the turn signals. Everything else works going to the harness besides the turn signals. Now, obviously, mine are working, but you have to pin those 2 wires. You got to figure out which side's which it's straightforward. Voltmeter and probe and everything. So, the BCM recognized that cluster. The other thing I put in here, this is not the radio that was in here. This radio actually came out of the Town and Country. Same thing with the DVD player. And I swapped those over. This is not a plug and play. The radio, going from 07 to 2002 and under, because unless you got this style radio already in your 2002, the pigtails for the radio are gonna be different. I don't have a pigtail, but it's the thin plugs that were on the other radio. So you gotta chop that harness up. They're pretty much color code, but you gotta get the wiring diagram for the 2007 harness or 2005 and figure out where all the wires go. But all the speakers work besides the rear. I'm not too worried about the rear because I got a sub and amp in the back, so. And the DVD player, again, straightforward. You just gotta snag the harness from your donor vehicle. And for this radio to function right, you gotta snag the antenna for the GPS, because your clock won't work. Well, I guess you could overwrite it and manually type in the time, but I got that kind of stuff way down in here too. You can't see it, but about where the factory one is. And then when you put this radio in with this, you got a little aux box down in here. Well, you can tell this is tan. That's the original interior of the other van. So you gotta move this box over. And I just moved because the other one was busted, so I just moved the cup holder over too. But it doesn't look too hideous with the blue. And then, again, don't mind the mess. I need to clean it out. This console wasn't in here. This came from the donor as well. It's in there solid. The only thing I don't have hooked up is the light and the cigarette port in the back. And then the DVD player, or the monitor, that came from there. And I wish I had a video on how I did that, because the 07 had a sunroof, and the part of the mount for the DVD player was on the sunroof, so I had to cut part of the sunroof off, and then I used some of the weather stripping from the donor and put the weather stripping right in here on that plate on both sides to hold it and prevent the wire from getting rubbed raw. But yeah, the blue interior. Pretty straightforward. Radio works. DVD player works. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pedal adjustments in. I saved the switch for that. I just need to go out and get the actual pedals. I forgot I'd grab that out of the donor before my city made a cow about the vehicle. But I saved the motor, saved the transmission. I'm actually rebuilding the motor that came out of that van, and it's going in to that Dodge Charger. So I may post some pictures of that too, because it's just a van engine going into a Dodge Charger. And yes, the motor and transmission, they bolt right up. Same flex plate, same torque converter, everything. Oh, torque converter is different, but the torque converter will bolt up to the flex plate. So I'll have pictures of that I'll post on the page too.